I wish to express my sincere appreciation to His Holiness Pope Francis, and with everyone here, continue to pray for his full recovery. I also wish to thank the Pontifical Academy of the Social Sciences, His Eminence Cardinal Turkson, the President of the Pan American Judges for Social Justice, and to all of the esteemed speakers who have contributed to this important workshop. My role today is to contribute to the discussion on the topics so effectively presented by Professor Justin Farrell and by Dr. Paul Kirschen, addressing climate justice through scientist and community collaboration and the large-scale analysis of colonization and climate change. My comments today are my personal views and do not represent the official view of the U.S. government or of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, where I currently am honored to serve on their court. With Professor Farrell's scientific examination of land dispossession and forced migration in the United States, and Dr. Kirshen's expert analysis of seasonal rainfall forecasts in Burkina Faso and Boston, USA as a backdrop, I would like to share the poignant and extremely precarious situation of a former U.S. territory, the Republic of the Marshall Islands. On November 2nd, 2022, although I am a U.S. citizen and trained in the U.S. under the law and a former U.S. judge, I had the honor to be sworn in as an Associate Justice of the High Court of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, which is now an independent nation. It is located near the equator in the Pacific Ocean, just west of the international dateline. In 2018, the World Bank census calculated the population at 58,413. The nation is comprised of 5 islands and 29 coral atolls, comprising more than 1,100 individual islands, islets, and atolls. European exploration of the Marshall Islands began in 1520, starting with Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer in the service of Spain. Spanish and English expeditions followed. Spain claimed the islands in 1592, and European powers recognized Spanish sovereignty over the indigenous population in 1874. Spain sold some of those lands to the German Empire in 1885. In World War I, the Empire of Japan occupied the Marshall Islands. During World War II, the United States took control of the islands during the Gilbert and Marshall Islands campaign in 1944. The United States used the Bikini Atoll and its inhabitants, primarily indigenous people, for nuclear testing beginning in 1946 and continued to devastate the land and its people through 1958. In 1979, the Republic of the Marshall Islands was, quote, restored, end quote, to independence. Core to the Constitution of the Republic of the Marshall Islands is the right of land ownership, and one can only imagine why that might be so. The history of occupation and abuse of the people and the land and the sea surrounding that land fashion the tone of their Constitution, which states, quote, this society has survived and has withstood the test of time, the impact of other cultures, the devastation of war, and the high price paid for the purpose of international peace and security. All we have and all we are today as a people, we have received as a sacred heritage which we pledge ourselves to safeguard and maintain, valuing nothing more dearly than our rightful home on the islands within the traditional boundaries of this archipelago, end quote. This backdrop leads me to the current day in the context of colonization, decolonization, and neocolonialism as found in today's headlines. I hold up this newspaper, which I'm sure you can all see the headline in bold print, 50 years left. 50 years left. On November 18th, 2022, the Republic of the Marshall Islands delegation to the Global Climate Summit held by the United Nations, COP27 in Egypt, reported 50 years left. In the article, the local newspaper, the Marshall Islands Journal, reports, quote, the Marshall Islands delegation to the Global Climate Summit, COP27 in Egypt, this past week released the RMA Statement of Intent on Adaptation, which underscores emerging climate reality that in the lifetime of today's elementary age population, much of the Marshall Islands may become uninhabitable. Marshall Islands delegates to COP27 are telling the world the country needs help to maintain somewhere that we, the Marshallese, can call home. In Laudato Si', the Holy Father, Pope Francis, issued his urgent appeal, quote, the urgent challenge to protect our common home includes a concern to bring the whole human family together to seek a sustainable and integral development, for we know that things can change, end quote. He went on to appeal for a new dialogue about how we are shaping the future of our planet. He acknowledged, quote, climate change is a global problem with grave implications, environmental, social, economic, political, and for the distribution of goods. It should be noted that as the people of the Marshall Islands attempt to accommodate the world and what it has done to the people of the Marshall Islands, that the minimum wage paid to the people of the Marshall Islands is $3 an hour. They desperately need the global community's help. It is my hope that the scientific and community-based collaboration and the large-scale analysis described by Professor Farrell and Dr. Kirshen will aid in that discussion. Meanwhile, for the people of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, forced migration is a reality. More than 20,000 have left already. Many have no reliable electricity or water today because the sea is reclaiming the island and because of the saltwater damage. As I watch the sea reclaim the land a little bit more each day, as I watch the ocean splash over the seawall onto the road that I use to drive to work each day, I pray that the dialogue urged in Laudato Si' will come in time to aid these peoples who have suffered all manner of the tragedies brought by colonization to find a way to allow their culture to survive. Thank you.